Children who are gifted and talented exhibit a wide range of characteristics. Some may excel in academic subjects, performing well above grade level in specific areas such as math or reading. Others may be more interested in the arts, playing musical instruments, or using various media to demonstrate their talents. Still others may show leadership abilities by working with their peers to achieve specific goals. Gifted learners are characterized as: first, very observant; second, extremely curious; third, extensively interested; fourth, great memory; fifth, long attention span; and lastly is thinks fluently. While talented learners are characterized as unusual imagination, second is high intense interest, and lastly, they have good memories. Talented learners are defined as learners who have above average intelligence and or superior talent for something such as music, art, or math. Talented learners are also defined as learners who have exceptional skills and ability in specific areas such as arts, music, science, and language. According to Chuck Grassley, what makes a child gifted and talented may not always be good grades in school, but a different way of looking at the world or learning. Federal or American government definition. J&T learners are capable of high performance and demonstrate potential abilities in any of the following 6 areas. First area is the general intellectual ability. General intellectual ability is exceptional capability or potential recognized through the cognitive process. Memory, reasoning, rate of learning ability to find and solve problems, and the ability to manipulate abstract ideas and make connections. While the second area is called a specific academic aptitude. A specific academic aptitude, it is an exceptional capability or potential in academic content areas, like in a different subjects such as math, English, science, and etc. For example of this is a strong knowledge based on the ability to ask insightful, pertinent question with the discipline. The third area is called creative and productive thinking. Creative and productive thinking, it is exceptional capability or potential in mental process. Example, critical thinking, creative problem solving, humor, independent or original thinking, and or products. The fourth area is called leadership ability. Leadership ability, you are able to govern or to become a leader in a certain group with a self-awareness, communication, influence, or learning agility as the core leadership skills. The fifth area is called ability in the visual and performing arts. Ability in the visual and performing arts is the ability to perform arts primarily focused on different aspects. We can build the different skills like creativity, confidence, perseverance, focus, communication, collaboration, dedication, and accountability. The last area of the G&T learners are called psychomotor ability. It is referred to a wide range of actions involving physical movement related to conscious cognitive processing. It may be measured by the accuracy on speed. It depends on the reason of time. So those are the different 6 areas that federal or American government definitions about the gifted and talented children. Okay, contemporary and related definitions. Zoli's 1978 three-trait definition of giftedness continues to be cited in special education literature. The definition states that giftedness results from the interaction of first, above average general abilities, second, a high level of task commitment, and lastly is creativity. Above average general abilities includes general and specific ability. General ability is the capacity to process information, integrate experiences that result in appropriate and adaptive responses in new situations, and engage in abstract thinking in areas such as verbal and numerical reasonings, spatial relations, memory, and word fluency. While specific ability is the capacity to acquire knowledge and skill or the ability to perform in one or more activities of a specialized kind and within a restricted range. The second cluster of traits in the three-ring conception of giftedness is called task commitment, whereas motivation is usually defined in terms of a general energizing process that triggers responses. Task commitment represents focused motivation that is brought to bear on a particular problem or task or specific performance and area. And the last cluster by Renzolis is called creativity. The third cluster of traits in the three-ring conception of giftedness includes factors usually characterized under the general heading of creativity. Kaufman and Beghout, year 2009, suggested that there have been more than 10,000 papers written about creativity in the last decade and across diverse areas of psychology.
Now that we're done understanding the nature of gifted and talented learners, let's proceed to the following characteristics that McAlpine and Reed introduced in 1996. The characteristics listed within these factor scales refer to behaviors which may be demonstrated by gifted and talented students rather than abilities they may possess. The first one, we have learning characteristics. The idea of this type of characteristics centers on how a student's personal, social, cognitive, and academic factors affect students' learning experiences. These are the ways of learner that they would naturally take in, process, and remember information and as well as skills. These probably are thought to be extremely important to how and what students learn, in which students themselves can learn more effectively and efficiently if they only have a better awareness of the traits of different types of learners. Additionally, this motivates the teachers to impart information more precisely, considering the idea that the variety of learner characteristics is so broad that they include both academic and personal traits. Hence, the learning process for students is considerably aided by these attributes taken together. The second one is the self-determination characteristics. Self-determination is the conviction that you are in charge of your own life. When one exercises self-determination, they also have to live with the results of their decisions. This involves a variety of attitudes and talents where learners develop self-awareness, assertiveness, pride, inventiveness, and problem-solving ability. Indeed, students with special needs should have plenty of opportunities to practice their self-advocacy, decision-making, and socialization skills well before they graduate from high school in order to get ready for working and living in their community. This is because self determination skills are best learned and developed through practice. The third one, we have creative thinking characteristics. Creative thinking includes the process of innovative problem solving, from analyzing the facts to brainstorming to working with others. Learners with creative minds are enthralled by their surroundings as they try to understand how something works, the specifics of a beautiful structure, or anything else they set their minds to. They tend to ask a lot of questions and to focus so intensely that it almost feels like a daydream. A person needs to be very conscious of the issues in his situation in order to be innovative. A creative individual is conscious of the issues that he or she is facing and makes every attempt to come up with innovative solutions. Another is the social leadership characteristics of a gifted and talented learner. The term social leadership, this refers to the emotional and empathic leadership style of those who prioritize connection, collaboration, and communication. It is a relatively recent idea. This kind of leader is aware of the value of forging close bonds with their team members and fostering a supportive work environment. They mostly take initiative in various situations. Gifted and talented learners with these characteristics efficiently communicate, collaborate, educate, engage, monitor, and enjoy, name it. They show their social capital to develop others. The last one, we have motivational characteristics. As we all know, motivation is a condition that activates and sustains behavior toward a goal. Motivational characteristics is both casual and formal learning situations. It's essential to learning and success over the lifespan of an individual. For instance, motivated students are more likely to be involved, persevere longer, achieve higher learning outcomes, and outperform their peers on standardized achievement tests. Generally speaking, motivation is indeed a continuous process motivating someone or oneself to take a particular course of action or press the better efficacy to elicit a desired response to a variety of situations. Now, at this juncture, we will proceed to the identification process in developing a method for identifying gifted and talented students. First, the gifted students will exhibit their talents not only in a domain but also within a specific area of interests. For instance, a fourth grader fared comparably to his age peers on science exercises in the classroom. But his theoretical knowledge of the structure of the cosmos and black holes, which came to light accidentally during an opportunity for individual study, was far above grade level. Second, the giftedness is a dynamic concept, particularly for students who have few options for extracurricular enrichment activities outside of school. A child's gifts may not be well represented by a single test score. Therefore, any identification technique should take into account how to give pupils the chance to showcase their talents and compile examples of their work over time. The third one, we have the gifts and talents are exhibited by children who have disabilities or who come from different ethnic, cultural, and economic backgrounds. Examining local and state criteria will enable professionals or teachers to better identify special populations of gifted children by taking into account a wider range of traits. Teachers themselves must also receive training in identifying traits that may be displayed in various ways by various cultural groups and by children with disabilities. Early identification is important to the development of gifts into talents. So that's the last one. It is crucial to recognize students' talents at a young age, particularly for children from economically disadvantaged households. These children perform it at a far better level than children who are given a skill-based curriculum that focuses on their deficiencies when given demanding learning activities that cultivate their strengths. Now, students and teachers create a place of respect and regard for one another in a loving learning environment. When everything is going well, every child feels appreciated, and teachers are conscious of how learning is impacted by developmental requirements. Some students, meanwhile, might manifest their abilities before uh, they are ready to have the necessary background. As educators, it is our duty to encourage and develop these abilities. Although it is everyone's right to learn something new every day, it can be challenging as well to manage the wide diversity of academic abilities in a classroom. Frequently, gifted or advanced students may not be sufficiently challenged or stimulated. The way they desire to study and the way they are taught might not be compatible. This might cause a variety of issues with conduct, self esteem, and peer relationships. So, as a teacher, how can you encourage these students? Well, let's take a look at some teaching tactics and ideal procedures in teaching gifted and talented learners. The first one is to treat students as individuals. Remember that outstanding students are individuals when you develop your strategy and learner profile. They might be cognitively talented youngsters with learning problems, making them doubly extraordinary. They could have talent in one area but not another. A remarkable aptitude for math doesn't usually translate into a similar aptitude for literature, art, or science. The pupil or the child may find this to be annoying. Supporting gifted students typically entails a combination of curriculum acceleration and enrichment. Making an interest survey for the entire class is a starting step. A classroom teacher can tailor lectures and focus on the subjects of interest by looking over the outcomes. The second one is to let students explore their passions. As much as you can rather, as a teacher, assist your pupils in becoming fully immersed in a subject that ignites their interest by developing a resource of appropriate videos, offering a topic library, or by requesting books and magazines from the library. Teachers themselves in the classroom can set up writing assignments and projects according to the chosen subject. There is no excuse for not using trains to teach reading to students or using counting marine animals to teach math. Why not consider the topic's historical implications if they are older? There are always chances to interact. Another is to infuse enrichment into activities. Students who have mastered the material may react rapidly through it. Allow your students to get ahead if the recommended speed is 2 chapters per week, but they can finish 2 chapters per day because they are interested in the subject. Allowing students to develop a presentation, a project, or even a podcast script will enhance the training. Make room for in-depth investigation, and comprehension. Plan enrichment tasks that talented kids can complete alone at their desks. Permit pupils to complete unique projects. However, just avoid using busy work because pupils will identify it as such. Next is to build for flexible learning groups. You can purposely form small groups for flexible learning while taking into account the readiness levels, strength, and interests of the students. A more dynamic learning environment can be created with the help of this intelligent planning tool. Remember that the groups are always changing based on assessment information regarding the needs of the gifted and talented students. Uh, Students' latent skills may come to the surface when the data are analyzed. Identify and include gifted pupils in group projects. Identify talented pupils in a group projects, although gifted and talented children can work independently. They also require opportunities to collaborate and interact with their peers. The fourth one is to embrace creative questioning. Gifted and talented students may often ask in-depth inquiries to satiate their thirst for information because they are frequently inquiring about the world around them. Their curiosity extends beyond a basic interest in a subject and may include elements that seem to fall outside the purview of a lesson. Respect your child's or respect the child's inquisitiveness and encourage them to look for answers to impossibly difficult questions. When a strange question is raised by a student, for example, attempt to provide opportunity for exploration by asking where the question originated from and what it is related to. For essential procedures, gifted and talented children require less repetition. Feel free to leave certain gaps for kids to fill on their own. Lastly, encourage self-directed learning with your students. All students can learn how to increase their capacity for self-directed learning. While some kids are naturally more self-motivated than others, developing self-directed learning skills is crucial to learning for life. Hold regular sessions with students to assist them in organizing their work and to offer assistance with challenges and evaluation. Put your attention on informative and timely content that advances the subject at hand. Now that we're halfway through in our discussion, let me ask you one question. How can you support gifted and talented learners? In what way you can help them learn the best way? Well, here are the 6 ways to support our gifted and talented students. First, learn how each student learns. Supporting students requires a thorough understanding of each student's framework, which includes not only the basic learning area, but also how they make connections. Second, include variety of readings. Encourage students to bring books from home, but make sure such books will make them work harder to learn new words and improve their reading abilities. This is a helpful tool, especially when more complex novels present fresh concepts and forge connections inside the framework of the reader. Third, create tiered assignments. Tiered assignments should be given to small groups according to their understanding of and capacity for completing them. To do this, define a baseline of concepts that students should understand or be able to recognize for a particular topic. Fourth, utilize their talents. As much as possible, give students the opportunity to lead the class, no? Assist other students who are having trouble and instruct them on what strategies worked and didn't in a relaxed and familiar setting. When people are placed in the real world kasi, with people of diverse cognitive levels and personalities, this can boost people's interpersonal abilities. Fifth, integrate technology. Although we frequently discuss how detrimental technology is for students, it can also be enlightening. Technology integration in the classroom creates a link between the classroom and the real world by offering a wealth of information and multiple avenues for learning and researching a subject. And lastly, encourage goal setting. For gifted and talented children, the chance for self evaluation frequently results in a greater challenge, and you can see them pushing themselves even harder to excel in their studies. The idea of perfectionism is also discouraged by doing this, and learning is emphasized. Indeed, finding strategies to support exceptional children on top of the ever growing pile on your desk may appear to add to the chaos of teaching at all classroom levels, which is a difficult endeavor in and of itself. These six steps are only a few of the many ways you may assist all children as well as your gifted and talented students. The first step in developing tiered assignments built on prior knowledge is to understand their demands and see how they establish connections. Alright, that's all for today. I hope you have grasped the ideas we've discussed about the learners who are gifted and talented. That would be all. Thank you.